The News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Senator Manny Pacquiao is back on the ground, this time in Manila, in hopes of understanding the everyday plight of Filipinos in the capital. Mon Gualvez now joins us live from Manila to give us the updates on this. Mon, good morning. What do you have for us?
Lahat ng mga magtitinda, lahat ng mga negosyo.
Charles, presidential aspirant Senator Manny Pacquiao broke the norm in campaigning when he rode the PNR train this morning. And as we observed this past few days, Senator Manny Pacquiao has been busy doing meetings and attending virtual events or engagements. But today, he's finally seen again in public on the ground, not in a motorcade or caravan, but on board a train in the Philippine National Railways or PNR. He said it's his first time to ride the PNR train and that his purpose is to check its situation as well as its riders, Charles.
Talking about the PNR train, Mon, did Pacquiao mention any plans to make any improvements to the transportation problems here in the capital?
No. Pag na-hospital ka,
Well, Charles, with a short chit-chat with Senator Manny Pacquiao, he says that if ever he wins as a president, he really wants to improve the transportation sector. Aside from improving the PNR, he's also planning to put up bullet trains to further revolutionize transportation per se, which is actually included in his 22 rounds priority agenda. Charles.
Right, Mon, I understand that Pacquiao's camp is also continuously distributing the so-called pabahay forms. Do we have any updates on this? And can you clarify for us exactly what this entails?
ang isip na ngayon, sana hindi manalo si Manny Pacquiao, kundi gulong tayong lahat.
Well, aside from doing rounds, the Team Pacquiao is actually busy encouraging people to sign up on these pabahay forms. Here, residents write down their personal information and what they want, like their own home, livelihood, and education. Team Pacquiao is collecting all the information and then coding it on a database. And as Pacquiao promised, if ever he wins, he will really give free housing, livelihood, and education to many residents. Charles.
Right, Mon, do we know what Pacquiao's schedule will look like for the rest of the day?
At the moment, Charles, program organized by Team Pacquiao is ongoing here in the covered court of Barangay 629. And actually, as of the moment, Senator Pacquiao is delivering his speech in front of the vendors. A while back, he listens to some of the plights of the vendors here in Santa Mesa, Maynila. And after this, he will face the media for some interview, and he will have another round of online meetings and different engagements virtual with some groups. Charles.
Thank you. That was Mon Gualvez reporting live from Manila. An election lawyer says the COMELEC has no power to take down campaign materials that exceed its prescribed dimensions as long as these materials are posted in privately owned places. Election law expert Romulo Macalintal says the COMELEC wrongly declared that it had the power to remove any campaign materials without first hearing out whoever posted these materials. This is in response to the Commission's Oplan Baklas, which seeks to immediately take down campaign posters and banners that are deemed violative of COMELEC rules. Macalintal added that as long as the campaign materials are posted with the permission of the owner of the property, it's already beyond the poll body's jurisdiction. The Foreign Affairs Department says the situation remains fluid in Ukraine as Russia continues to hold military exercises near its border. But for some Filipinos living in Ukraine, they'd rather stay in the country than go back home. Faith Del Mundo tells us why.
Despite the heightened tension and possible Russian invasion of Ukraine, OFW Cora Adahar has decided to stay in the European country.
Napakahirap naman po na uuwi na lang ng Pilipinas na, let's say, madaling sabihin uwi na lang. Pero yun pong gugugulin ko pa uli ng ilang months para sa future ng anak ko. Napakahirap naman po na wala po tayong stable job.
In the past few days, more soldiers are being deployed to the borders of Ukraine, particularly in Maidan, Krestayk, Kyiv City. But Cora says the situation inside the country remains calm.
Nangangamba din, pero sa ano naman po, tahimik naman po. Pero yung narinig ko po kanina, may kausap po ako kanina, nagaling siya ng Maidan. So tinanong ko siya kung maraming pulis doon sa Maidan, kung ano yung presently na nangyayari ngayon sa Maidan, sa pinaka-city. So, ang sabi lang niya, marami lang daw pulis doon sa yung parang kumaga sa atin, parang pinaka-ano ng government ng Russia.
Russia first held joint military drills with Belarusian soldiers last February 10. More than 100,000 troops of Russian army went to the border of Ukraine. That's when rumors started that the Kremlin will soon conquer Ukraine. But the Russian government has since denied it. The Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA, advised Filipinos in Ukraine to stay in a safe zone and to coordinate with the embassy or consul near them. According to POEA Deputy Administrator Bong Plan, the Foreign Affairs Department has yet to raise any alert levels for Ukraine. But if it ever happens, Plan says they can repatriate the 380 Filipinos living in Ukraine.
Para sa mga OFWs natin sa Ukraine, we take this opportunity to advise them to take all the precautionary measures para ma-ensure yung mga safety nila. At the same time, ina-advisean po natin sila na kunin po ang mga contact details ng pinakamalapit na embahada o konsulado para makapaghingi kagad sila ng any assistance.
According to the DFA, they coordinated with the Foreign Service Post in Europe for Filipinos who would return to the Philippines. The department adds that as of now, the situation at Ukraine's borders remain uncertain. The DFA is continuously coordinating with the Filipino community in Ukraine and their international partners for safe relocation. Overseas Filipinos in Ukraine may also coordinate with the Polish embassy. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
After spending a few days in Samar, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno has returned to Luzon and is now campaigning in Laguna. To give us the latest, we have JC Cosico now joining us on the line from Laguna. Good morning, JC. Could you tell us which specific areas in Laguna will be visited by the Acción Democrática slate today?
Began their motorcade in Los Baños, Laguna. It is currently here in Calamba City, which will then go through Binian and Cabuyao, Laguna. Charles.
JC, do we know how long Mayor Isko is set to stay in Laguna and what his agenda will be while he's there?
Charles, we have yet to receive a word from their camp, but what's clear is that their motorcade will continue until Binian, Laguna, and Mayor Isko is also expected to attend an event tomorrow in Manila. Charles.
JC, could you tell us how well received the Moreno-Ong tandem was there in Laguna?
Charles, based on our observation, his supporters who welcomed Moreno here in Laguna were quite warm. They were excited when they saw Moreno and the reception of these supporters when they were given shirts and among other paraphernalia. Charles.
Yeah, JC, I understand that Mayor Isko does shake hands with his supporters despite the campaign guidelines that bans this practice. Do we know whether he intends to keep doing this wherever he goes?
Yes, Charles, according to Mayor Isko, he will continue to do this, the shaking hands with his supporters, saying he wants to reach out to the public. And he said that it's up to their lawyers if there be any possible cases be filed against him, because, again, shaking hands is banned under current campaign guidelines. Charles.
Right, JC, after he visits Laguna, what is next for Moreno's campaign?
Charles, according to his campaign team, Moreno is set to visit La Union tomorrow and Pangasinan by Friday. Charles.
Thank you and stay safe, JC. That was JC Cosico reporting from Laguna. The Octa Research Group sees the positivity rate in Metro Manila and Calabarzon drop to below 10%. In a tweet, Octa's Guido David says that as of February 15, NCR, Cavite, Laguna, and Quezon are now at low risk level for COVID-19. Batangas is barely under moderate risk category and is expected to move to low risk over the next few days, while David expects Quezon to be the first province to be classified under the very low risk category for COVID-19. Time now for a quick look at some of today's headlines. The country's foreign policy and ongoing civil war became hot topics in the SMNI presidential debate last night. The COMELEC has started to remove illegal campaign materials along EDSA. And Pulse Asia says survey figures are still fluid, but an expert says if Bongbong Marcos maintains his lead by March, it's probably game over. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.